Barcelona is a club for youngsters. Everyone knows this. Through the years, they have developed a reputation for bringing dazzling young talents from their academy, and it looks like they have just gone and done it again. Yeah, Lamine Yamal still qualifies as a wonderkid as he is only 18 years old, but he is now already one of the best players in the world, so Barcelona have now gone out to produce another precocious teenager. Who is he? His name is Ebrima Tunkara. But have Barcelona really already found their wonderkid? Let's talk about it. Ebrima was born in the Gambia in 2010, but he moved to Spain in 2017 when he was 7 years old, which means that he now has dual citizenship and can represent any of the two countries at the international level. The same year he moved to Spain, he joined a local academy in Monterrey, a town in Catalonia. His family expected that he would be there for some time before the big clubs came calling, but the kid was so good that just months later, Barcelona scouted him and signed him. At the age of 8, he was already a part of Barcelona's academy, and he started to make his way up from there. 3 years later, when he was 11 years old, he moved to La Masia, which was where his talents really started to be noticed by a wider audience. He was so good that at just 12 years old, he received a call-up to Spain's under-15 team. And last year, at the age of 15, he was called up to the under-7s and has already become a very vital part of their qualification journey for the Euros. He scored one against Latvia, helping them to a 5-0 win. But in the game against Andorra, he was even more influential. Tunkara helped Spain to a 3-0 win against the neighbouring country, a game where he was involved in all the goals, scoring 2 and creating 1. He played only 45 minutes in that game, but it was enough for him to be the most impactful player on the pitch. But what makes this guy special is not just the numbers, he is an all-round special talent. First of all, he is very versatile. He can play as a right winger, attacking midfielder, and even as a centre midfielder. This is why a lot of fans feel like he'll easily break into the first team because he can easily plug different holes for the coach. He just made his debut for Barcelona B this year, and in such a short time, he has been able to do enough to convince the club to secure his future. Barcelona are pretty confident that he will be the next big thing, so despite the fact that he's just 15 years old, they have already offered him his first professional contract to keep him at the club for years to come. But what actually makes this kid so special? Is it the numbers, skills, or is it all just hype? We'll talk about it in a second, but if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. Done? Okay, now back to Ebrima Tunkara and what makes him special. Well, first of all, he's a physical specimen. At 15 years old, he already stands at 5'10" and is very strong. In fact, you look at him in youth games and he looks like he has already outgrown that age grade. On top of that, he is pretty skillful and already technically superior to his peers. He is something of a genius in tight spaces. Just when you think you've boxed him in, he somehow finds a way out. So, with his technique and physicality, it is generally very difficult to get the ball off him. He is a player who knows how to make things happen all by himself. At the youth level, he already has that sense of responsibility needed to be the main man at a top club. He can be very individualistic, but he is also a big team player. His associative and link-up play are just so good. He is very creative and unselfish, which makes him a great number 10. Now, one special thing about him is that his height and physicality make him different from the midfielders Barcelona are used to. At Barcelona, you would most often get technically gifted midfielders who are often called twinks, but in most cases the physicality is lacking. But with Tunkara, you're getting both. Remember, he is just a 15-year-old kid, so he is still growing. In 2 to 3 years, he will be taller and stronger than this, and that's when we expect that he'll be getting into the first team dynamics. So it all feels like great news for Barcelona. But hey, his promotion to the first team might even be expedited. With Dro having forced a move away from the club, it sort of clears a pathway for Tunkara to start getting some first team minutes. Also, Dani Olmo is more than 10 years older than the kid, so you can see Ebrima taking over the number 10 role in a few years alongside Fermin Lopez. And remember, he is a versatile player, so he won't be confined to the attacking midfield role. He can be used in the other positions on the field. Ebrima is very highly rated by the Barcelona faithful, so when the coach deems him ready for the first team, his promotion will be received with a lot of support from the fans, and that is always great for a young player coming up from the academy. Finally, what makes this kid very special is his decision-making. Seeing as he is one of the best players in his age group, it is easy for him to get obsessed with trying to score and improve his numbers, but he never lets that get into his head. He knows when to dribble, when to drop a pass, when to link up with his teammates, and when to make an attempt on goal. And when Tunkara shoots, he really does shoot. The kid knows how to strike a football cleanly, and that is something Barcelona need in their ranks. They have dribblers, creators, and technical monsters in abundance, but ball strikers? There just aren't many of that. So Tunkara might just be a breath of fresh air in that aspect. The only small question Barcelona fans have right now is about the man in charge, Hansi Flick. Compared to previous Barcelona coaches like Xavi, Enrique, Pep, and even Koeman, Hansi Flick doesn't seem to trust La Masia as much, so fans are bothered that Tunkara's path might be blocked by the coach. Yes, Dro having left the club might open a pathway for Ebrima, but it doesn't give the fans a lot of confidence for future talents coming from the academy. If 18-year-old La Masia graduate Dro already wants to leave the club because of a lack of involvement, there is a fear that other young players, including Tunkara, could take that path as well. But for now, Barcelona fans are focused on the positives. He is definitely very talented, and having signed a new long-term deal, there's a lot of hope and excitement that he will be the new superstar from the famous La Masia. But amidst all this excitement, fans must be careful to ground their expectations in reality. Indeed, Ebrima is very talented and we can see him breaking into the first team in the next couple years, but it is important for fans not to make the mistake of comparing him to Lamine Yamal. That would put a lot of unnecessary pressure on the young kid. At 16, Lamine was already one of the best players in the world. Ebrima turned 16 this year, but we don't expect that he'll hit those levels that quickly. He might not even hit those levels until 18 or 19, so the fans must be patient. The player too must be patient. Looking at the likes of Lamine and Gavi breaking into the first team at a very young age has made La Masia talents a little too eager. Many now feel like they must be getting regular first team minutes at 18. If not, they're failing. One could even argue that it is this mentality that has driven Dro out of the club so early. Tunkara though must be careful to not let the hype get into his head. Be patient, keep putting in the work, and we are pretty sure he will actually develop into Spain and Barcelona's next big thing in the coming years. We now want to hear from you guys though. Have you ever watched this kid play? What do you think about him? Do you believe he really has what it takes to break into the Barcelona first team in the next few years? Or is this just one of those names that will fade away in a matter of time? Get in the comments and talk to us. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye. The world's biggest tournament is coming, and the official FIFA World Cup 26 Tri-Under competition ball is here at the Goal 90 shop. Designed for the game's biggest stage, it's built for precision, speed and control. Right now, you can make it yours with 30% off plus free shipping. Don't just watch the World Cup, own a piece of it. Visit goal90.shop today and order now.